Good evening and welcome to Ox Sports Unleashed, episode 22. Whether you're watching in your living rooms, your bathrooms, your jacuzzis, your steam rooms, your sheds, your greenhouses, welcome, and we thank you for joining us on a very wet and miserable Thursday night where Oxford Speedway has started well with winning the first two heats. So we'll keep a close eye on Oxford Cheetahs going forward. And obviously on a packed programme tonight, we've got our usual features, but as we say at this point, please engage with us. Please send any clips that you have of grassroots sports, whether it be a goal, a piece of action from any sport, please send it to our email address, which is on your screen, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We would be pleased to hear from you, and we really want to showcase your sport and highlight what you're doing at your clubs. So please do. We've had some really good engagement. Pretty much week in, week out, we showcase a new sport. We had badminton in last week, which was really interesting. We've had paddle tennis, we've had boxing, we've had all sorts. So please, if you've got anything you want to share with us, please do. That email address again is oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice a certain KDog is back in the building.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Tired.
Shock.
Very tired, but no. Good show last week. I thought the badminton was really good, and as you say, another new sport that we featured. And I couldn't believe when James was saying that the speeds involved. I knew it was quick. I knew it was one of the quickest racket sports. But when he mentioned the speeds, I mean, I struggled to sort of face a 40-mile-an-hour bowler in cricket. So
it's quite remarkable.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, really good feature that. So it was a good show. And thank you for the locksmith for stepping in. He might be stepping in again next week, possibly. So there you go. Yeah, so without further ado, as our current producer, the locksmith, is smiling away behind the screen there, we're going to crack on with our normal stuff. So we're going to start with Oxford City, struggling obviously in the National League this season, but last Saturday they travelled all the way up to Rochdale to Scotland, and they were in National League action, and they put in a pretty decent display, and here are the highlights from that National League game for you now.
Left foot, but it's easily dealt with in the end. He did have options there, Lewis Coyle, making his way ahead of him, but he couldn't pick any out. And now Rochdale regain possession of the ball. They'll come forward here. It's a good ball, in fact, to the midfielder, Ryan East. Plays it over to the left. John cuts inside, beats Birtwistle, all ends up. There's a chance here for Dale, and it's a shot towards goal, and it flashes just wide of the post by Sam Mather. That's the first chance of the game. It's fallen to the Dale. Will run and run and run, and he started to do that today already for the hoops, and that's a brilliant ball over. Well taken down by Mitchell, and Mitchell's in here. Giles Phillips works back, but Mitchell's still going, and it's 1-0. 11 minutes on the clock, and it's Cairo Mitchell who gives Rochdale the lead. It was a long ball over the top. Mitchell ran onto it, beat the Oxford City back line for pace. Giles Phillips did his best to track back and try and stop the shot from going towards goal, but Mitchell did well to move the ball onto his left and poke the ball past Tom Watson. And despite Oxford City's bright start, it's Rochdale that take the lead at Scotland. First team, and has done it almost seamlessly. Did spend a little bit of time on loan at North Lee last season and played a lot of games there. He's a local lad, and he's on the ball here again. Brilliant play from Humphrey, who'll drive forward. Brilliant ball forward to Parker. Nudges the ball in front of him, but it's an inch perfect sliding challenge from Cameron John. Three players lingering on the edge of the box. Ashby in towards the back post, headed towards goal. It's flicked towards goal, and Rochdale have conceded, and it's Harvey Greenslade who taps home from inside the 6-yard box and scores his first Oxford City goal. And the Oxford City fans celebrate as number 11, and once again we're level at Scotland. It's Rochdale 1, Oxford City 1. City again, down the right, Birtwistle finds Greenslade. Greenslade crossing towards the box, it's tapped away into the path of Josh Parker, and Oxford City take the lead at Scotland, and again they deserve it. And it's Josh Parker this time, City's top goal scorer, with his 12th goal in the National League. And from behind, Oxford City take the lead at Rochdale. It's Rochdale 1, Oxford City 2. Josh Parker with the goal for Ross Jenkins' men. Again touched away, Ebanks Landell Rochdale plays it all the way back to Brooks, and under pressure from Greenslade, his clearance isn't very good. Into Coyle, edge of the box. Coyle shoots, and it's not far away. A good shot from Lewis Coyle, and it's Rochdale that are asking all the questions. Ball over the top, looking for an option, but it goes over to Hayes. There's been a goal at the Kassam, but I'll tell you about that in a moment, because here comes Hayes down the right, works his way into the box. Good run by Hayes, cross across the box, and there's the equaliser. Rochdale do equalise, and it's Sam Mather who's got the goal. Hayes works his way down the right, crosses the ball into the 6-yard box, and there is the Rochdale midfielder who gets to that first to slam home an equaliser.
Ross, an entertaining 2-2 draw here at Spotland today. The lads worked their socks off. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, they did. It was a real good performance, I must say. I've just told the boys that. Yes, it's deflating when you concede. I thought it was in decent control, played some really good stuff, but the effort was absolutely brilliant. And I think that from Thursday, sort of led into today. So that's really positive to see that they've listened and taken on instructions. They've come in with a good appetite, and yeah, the energy, the enthusiasm was definitely there. Obviously the equaliser does hurt a little bit, but he's a good player. He's a good player, and it's the only time he's really got in and affected us, I'd say, and he's getting punished in those little moments. But in terms of the effort and work rate from everyone, and some of the football as well was really good. So real good, solid performance away at a difficult place to come. Rochdale was a big club, really big fan base. So it's important that we looked after the crowd, which I thought we did first half. Second half, we grew into the game, and I thought that probably a draw was fair. As much as I thought we've played well, I think a draw overall is a fair result.
There you go, that's Ross Jenkins reflecting on that really good 2-2 draw away at Rochdale. 2-1 up as well into the last 10 minutes or so, and just pegged back at the end, which is a bit of a shame, but it's stopped the run of defeats anyway. And there'll be more Oxford City action a little bit later on when they travelled up to runaway leaders, champions-elect Chesterfield, which was a bit of a thankless task for anybody, let alone Oxford City at the bottom. Yeah. Right, moving on, National League North action. Banbury United, they're a club in a bit of turmoil at the moment, and they're certainly a club on the decline because they've dropped into the relegation zone in recent weeks. They were at home to Southport on Saturday in National League North, desperately looking for a victory to try and push themselves out of the relegation zone. Time running out for Banbury as well, and I don't want to give you too much of a hint at what's happening, but here are the highlights from Banbury United's home game against Southport on Saturday.
Thank you, Kevin, for coming up and speaking to us. Your assessment of that game, because we were saying up here it was probably one of Banbury's better performances.
Yeah, we huffed and we puffed, didn't we? But we didn't really create clear-cut opportunities. Yeah, it wasn't easy out there because the wind played a big factor in both halves. I felt first half, definitely Southport were on the ascendancy and we defended well for periods of times. They did have a few opportunities from crosses where we didn't actually win the first contact. But, second half we were a lot better, especially for the first 20-25 minutes until they scored. They found it hard to get out as it was today, but it just shows you where the luck is at the minute. Ken gets a good header in from a corner and the keeper sticks a leg out and he saves it, but you got to keep going, you got to keep believing. And certainly for me, you're most probably right. Performances are based on winning, really, aren't they? And I can't really say that I've really enjoyed a lot of performances since I've been here, but it's hard. We've always had a problem with scoring goals. That was evident before I came in. And they're saying today the goal that they've scored is offside, not by a yard, by 2 or 3 yards. And when things aren't going well and things are going against you, these things go the opposite way.
That's Kevin Wilson reflecting on a disappointing defeat, another disappointing defeat at home to Southport. It looks like they had loads of chances in the game,
chances,
but just didn't put any of them away. And that defeat really hasn't helped Banbury in their battle against relegation. Their midweek game was, surprise, surprise, was called off because of a waterlogged pitch. So they're going to end up having something like 3 games a week, I think, in the last month of the season. It's really difficult times up at the Banbury Plant Hire Community Stadium at the moment. This weekend, they are away to Scunthorpe United, which is a bit of a thankless task, I would think. Scunthorpe United, of course, were in the Championship just 10 years ago, and now they'll be playing Banbury United on Saturday, and hopefully Banbury will get something out of the game. I'm going up there to commentate on that for Radio Oxford. I'm going alone on that one. I haven't got anybody with me, so I'm going to have to talk non-stop, which is
pretty much what
I do all the time anyway.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, is that where Ian Botham used to play?
Yes, it was. Ian Botham. Good
played.
cricket knowledge there.
There you go.
Our
thanks.
Play cricket.
I hope we come on this programme in the near future and have a couple of wins to celebrate Oxford City and Banbury, just to have a bit more of a cheerier programme around our highlighted football. So we wish them all the best for the rest of the season, as we always do, but it'd be nice to get a couple of wins that we can celebrate on this programme.
And of course, City home on Sunday to Halifax, live on TNT Sports. Patrick, live on TNT Sports. It's a 12:30 kickoff. 12:15 kickoff. Now I'm taking the mickey out of our producer and I got the kickoff wrong. So that's live on TNT on Sunday. You can also catch the action on BBC Radio Oxford with myself and Andy. And hopefully we'll be able to report back next week on some positive news from both those games.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing, talking about errors, I did say Oxford Cheetahs, it's Oxford Spires Speedway, so I do apologise. There are 3 teams out of the stadium there, so we wish them all the very best. I hope, after 2 heats winning, that they continue winning the heats tonight, so we wish them all the very best as well. That takes us quite nicely on to our regular feature of our firm of solicitors, Lock, Lyon and Ryde, or as I like to call them, the 3 Stooges. They'll be giving us a good roundup of last week's football, and is there any cheery news for our Oxfordshire clubs? We'll hand over to Colin Ryde for you now.
Well, thank you for that introduction, and welcome to my 2 guests, Patrick Lock. Hi, Patrick.
Hello, Colin.
And also joined by Paul Lyon. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Colin.
Now then, I'm Colin Ryde, and there's much more positive news this week for local footy fans. Oxford United won 2-1 at home to Cheltenham, and Oxford City bagged a point away at Rochdale. And Paul, despite it being rock bottom, there are times where City still shows signs of being a very good team.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty good all season, but not quite good enough, unfortunately, to get us out of trouble. And I think Saturday was another one of those games where we could have come away with all 3 points, and we just can't quite defend our goal enough. And scoring goals has never been a big problem for us, has it? But keeping clean sheets has. And I think 2-2. Normally we'd say, we'll take that. Away to Rochdale, ex-Football League club. 2 was a good point, but yeah, we were disappointed we could have won that.
Now, Patrick Lock, were you Billy No it's away at Rochdale, or did you have other hardcore Hoops fans to keep you company?
Yeah, not quite. Yeah, there was a few hardcore fans that have been there throughout the season, and I think that's the thing with City is that you will take 25 to anywhere really. You take 25 half an hour up the road, and you'll also take 25 4 hours up the road. So 25 hardcore, yes. So yeah, we were there, kind of stuck in a corner, but yes.
Okay, so Banbury United, meanwhile, though, defeats 1-0 at home to Southport, saw them drop into the National League North relegation zone. And Paul, not the sort of new manager bounce you might expect after the Puritans parted company with Mark Jones, Paul.
No, it's one of those games Banbury needed to win, really, because Southport are down there as well on the edge of the relegation. And Banbury desperately needed the points. And I think that now leaves them 4 points from safety and games are running out. And it'll be a bit of a shame if Banbury couldn't stay up, because they've been sort of mid-table most of the season, but they've been sinking down deeper and deeper, haven't they, the last few weeks? And they're going to need to get some results pretty quickly, because I think they're about 4 points from safety now. Yeah.
All right, Patrick, see if you can find some better news elsewhere in the local football period and go through the rest of the weekend's results, how the tables looked after Saturday's game, and tell us what Oxford football fans have got to look forward to this weekend.
Yeah, so as you've already said, there's a bit more positive results this week after a fairly dire week last Saturday, as we heard from. So as we've already heard about, Oxford United's win, a draw for City at Rochdale, and obviously Banbury's defeat. Didcot didn't have a fixture on Saturday, so we'll just have a quick roundup of the action from Step 4 and below. Kidlington were the big winners of the weekend. They had a 1-0 success against Ware at home on Saturday. The only goal of the game came pretty early on, actually. Joshua Davis with a pinpoint header from a set piece after just 11 minutes, actually, to earn all 3 points. Mark Massingham was pleased with his side's fight, and here's what he said at full time.
Mass, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, mate. It's you just summed it up, Charlie. Exactly that. It's much needed win. A bit of confidence as well. Great clean sheet as well. The second half was an onslaught, and the boys stood up really well to it. We've played better and lost, so every manager or player knows that happens. But the heart and the desire from the lads today was absolutely first class, and that's what got us the result. And you know, it's like I say, it's not a performance we maybe remember for quality, but in terms of heart and fight and desire, it was. So yeah, great result, great day.
You can say in the second half that we're on the back foot for the majority of it, but there was some real desire from the lads today, wasn't there?
Yeah, mate. Listen, we're a good team. They're not in a playoff picture because the table don't lie. So we said to the lads before, they're going to have spells. They're going to, their style. We had reports on their style, and they were very true to it. And what they did, they were very good at, and we had to defend really well. I mean, Guards has made one goal-saving block. Hopper's made about 4 or 5 world-class saves. Honestly, if anyone makes them in the Premiership, it's being replayed by analysts. So yeah, everyone did their job. Maxie Smith, the whole team. I could go for every single one of them and praise them, but every single one of them, even the subs, fantastic. Even Locke, who didn't get on, and Dav didn't get on, fantastic.
Northley were defeated again in the Southern League Division 1 Central, with Kempston Rovers winning 2-0 at Ensham Park. Which was a result actually that didn't do Tame many favours, with Tame also defeated on the road at AFC Dunstable this weekend. They did take the lead through Oliver Hogg after 28 minutes, but Dunstable turned it around to take the points in that fixture. In Step 5, and Easington Sports were the only winners in the county on Saturday. They beat Rugby Borough away from home. Rugby took the lead against the run of play in the first half, but after the break, Liam Howard levelled as he cut out a back pass, actually, before Callum Convey completed the turnaround after Easington were awarded a penalty midway through the second half to secure them a big win in that division. Elsewhere, and Montage Town were held to a 0-0 draw away at Mangotsfield in the Hellenic Premier, while in the Combined Counties North it wasn't good news, unfortunately. It was Ardley United beaten 2-1 at home to Reading City, while Egham Town beat Wallingford and Crowmarsh 1-0, and Risborough Rangers were 4-0 victors at home to Milton United. So 3 defeats for our sides in that division. In Hellenic Division 1, Abingdon United were victorious at home to Long Crendon. Casey Highmore scored the only goal of the game, actually, as a long throw was flicked on and he finished into the roof of the net on the volley, actually. It was a really nice finish to earn them a big 3 points in that division. Clanfield 85 were held to a 1-1 draw away at Hartpury University in Hellenic Division 1 as well, while Kiddington Reserves had the same fate, actually, at Malmesbury Victoria away from home. They drew 1-1 there. And finally, before we look at Sunday's action, in the Oxfordshire Charity Cup semi-final, Adderbury Park won 2-1 against Launton Sports to put their place in the final, which was actually a rematch of the game that saw Adderbury Park earn a match against Oxford City in the Senior Cup. So Adderbury Park got themselves into the final there. So on Sunday, and in the Women's National League South, #United beat Oxford United Women 3-0. But Oxford City had an impressive win, actually, by the same scoreline at home to Bournemouth Sports. Emily Harris marked her birthday with another goal, actually. She scored bagfuls this season with Georgina Taman and Ellie White, another player, getting bagfuls of goals, sealing an impressive win against the Bournemouth side, who actually only been beaten once this season. So a very impressive win for City's women's side there. So after that win on Sunday, it saw City's women climb to third in the Southern Region Women's Football League, while Oxford United dropped to fifth in the Women's National League South. So after the matches on Saturday, and Oxford United's men couldn't see them back into the playoffs, they still sit seventh in League One. City still bottom of National League, as we've heard, Banbury 22nd in National League North, and in danger of dropping adrift a little bit, so need a couple of results coming up. Didcot Town still bottom of the Southern League Central after having no game at the weekend, and fortunately Harrow Borough above them have picked up a few points recently, so I've dropped adrift again a little bit. Well, in the Southern League Central, Northley have dropped to fifth. Kiddington climbed to 16th, while Tame have dropped to bottom after Kempston Rovers beat Northley to jump above them the other day. So coming up on Saturday, Oxford United travel to Port Vale in League One. Oxford City don't have a fixture on Saturday as their game is moved to Sunday with the BT Sport cameras, TNT Sport cameras. Sorry, I'm still at last season. TNT Sports cameras broadcasting their game against FC Halifax Town Sunday at 12:15. Banbury United have a tough game away at Scunthorpe United, so there'll be a big crowd there for that game. Didcot Town, they're back in action after a blank weekend. They travel to Walton Hersham. Northley, they host Ware. Tame United host Barton Rovers, while Kiddington travel to Welwyn Garden City, all in the Southern League Central. And as well as City's men on Sunday, Oxford United women, they technically host Cardiff City in the Women's National League South on Sunday, but that's being held at Cirencester Town after City have taken over the Royal Charging Stadium on Sunday. And Oxford City's women, they're about a fixture on Sunday. And that's what's coming up on this weekend, Colin.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. And Paul, before we go back to the main studio, we should mention again, Oxford City ladies versus Oxford United ladies meeting in the final of the Oxfordshire Women's FA Cup. City website says that's all scheduled to take place on Sunday, 20th of April at Kiddington's Yardton Road ground. So let's hope the weather improves, because they've had more than their fair share of games called off, haven't they, Kiddington?
Yeah, I'm sure by the end of April the rain will have stopped. There can't be much more rain to come, can there, Colin? We've had so much this year already, but yeah, the Kiddington pitch does obviously get a bit wet from time to time. It's a nice pitch when it's drier, and so hopefully in the next 4 weeks it will dry up and we can have a great game of football. Although maybe playing on a quagmire might suit Oxford City more than Oxford United, so maybe we'll have to get the hose pipes out the day before and even up the game a bit.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Patrick Lock. I'm Colin Ryde, handing back to the main studio for the rest of this week's Ox Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks to Mo, Larry and Shemp. They're the three stooges, as we like to call them. Thanks for a great roundup again of the local football highlights and what's coming up this weekend. And if you haven't had a chance to go to any of these venues, please get along there and support your local teams. And that takes us quite nicely over to midweek, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that before we move on. Great goal from Casey Highmore for Abingdon. That's definitely goal of the week. A volley in off the underside of the bar. Fantastic strike. And you did question beforehand whether we were going to get any good news. great win for Kidlington against Ware, who were playoff finalists last year.
That was really good. Helped them up the table as well.
It really did. So less good news for North Lee, who lost, of course, and Didcot, who didn't have a game, so they couldn't possibly win because there was no game. Right, onwards and upwards. We'll move on to the midweek fixtures. As I said earlier, Banbury's game at home to Boston United was called off because of a sailing ship going across the pitch because it was underwater again, sadly. But Oxford City had a trip to Chesterfield, the runaway league leaders of the National League. They're going to win the league, I think, in the next couple of weeks. Could Oxford City produce a shock there, or could they produce at least a really good performance? You'll find out now with the highlights from Chesterfield versus Oxford City.
Everybody bar Harry Tyrett up for this one. Mandeville to take it. Headed on, and fired on by Grigg. Will Grigg on target again for the Spirates. Kirby. Hits it long. He's chased all the way there and he's got it off Harry Tyrett. A chance for Greenslade. And what's the referee given? I think he's given the penalty. Harry Tyrett came to the edge of his area, trying to get the ball, but Greenslade went down. Harry Tyrett saved the penalty on Saturday against AFC Fylde. Can he do it again tonight? It's Parker. Oh, he's done it again! Harry Tyrett, you are a star! Dobra. Coyle. Grigg. Dobra once more. That's a good ball for Banks. Ollie Banks now, edge of the area, lazy off for Naylor. Tom Naylor! It's in the back of the net for 2-0. 7 minutes into the second half. Great ball through from Dobra first of all, then by Banks. Moby Greenslade laying it off again. The ball comes in this time, and it's over the crossbar. Yeah, I think it was Lewis Coyle that Goldclough taking on Burley, goes past one, goes past two, Banks back in again to Goldclough, and it didn't go over the line. It comes back off the post from Ryan Goldclough. Almost his first contribution of the game, almost resulted in a goal. That's not a bad ball. Grigg can get control of it, but Krasnicki was there. Phillips rather it was made the challenge, and now a ball through there for Josh Parker. Parker with a great chance here, and Josh Parker just puts it wide.
There you go, 2-0 defeat then for Oxford City away at Chesterfield. Probably not a surprise, that one, to be fair, because Chesterfield are runaway leaders, and as I said, they're probably going to win the league probably by the end of March, which is pretty incredible. They'll be back in the Football League, so good luck to Chesterfield. Oxford City, as I mentioned earlier, home to Halifax on Sunday this week. I think one more defeat or two more games without getting maximum points, and they will be officially down. I think if they lose on Sunday, they could be 17 points adrift with 18 points left. So we always stay hopeful, but it's starting to clutching at a few spots, particularly as the team in fifth from bottom have 5 games in hand on Oxford City as well. So probably City will be in the National League South or North next year. Better news though for the Oxford City women. They hosted Bournemouth Sports on Sunday in the Southern Region Women's Football Premier League, and they had a really good result, and here are the highlights and goals from that game from the Raw Charging Stadium. There you go, great result for Oxford City women against Bournemouth Sports. Bournemouth Sports had lost just once all season before that game on another wet day. Is it ever going to stop raining? Probably not. Coming up a little bit later, just stay tuned with us because we've got a really good feature coming up with Ben Cox, who we interviewed a couple of weeks ago. Our roving reporter Wes Spearman went up to Silverstone, so we are starting to branch out from our studios, and Wes had a great day at Silverstone with Ben Cox at their testing, and funnily enough it was raining on that day. But stay tuned for that because it's a really good feature that Wes has put together, and hopefully you'll enjoy that, Darryl.
Yeah, absolutely quality. And also, we've got some highlights of Lindsay Smith in New Zealand playing for England.
But it wasn't raining there.
It wasn't raining there,
No.
so that's all good. So stay tuned, there's plenty more to come tonight. And that takes me quite nicely to a little outing for Mr. and Mrs. Woodsy on Sunday evening, where we went down to the Ox Pens to watch Oxford City Stars play the top of the league. There we go, there we are, look, in our full glory. It wasn't that cold. I didn't need all that. It was quite warm, to be honest. But it was a really good event. I really enjoyed my evening.
Did they give you a frosty reception?
Very good. It was really well supported, not probably as well because it was a bit of a dead rubber, to be fair, but Streatham Royals at the top of the league were looking to just show what they can do on the ice, and I have to say it was quite breathtaking what I actually witnessed, or what we witnessed, and we'll show you the highlights of that game. I'll try and sort of talk through a little bit on the game because at times Oxford City Stars played some really good ice hockey, but unfortunately just couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. That said, there's a goal for Streatham Redhawks there, a great move, and there's a chance here for Oxford City Stars as we go round. I learnt so much when there's an offside. I don't really understand the offside rule, but it's almost like a drop ball as they do in football. They drop the puck and it's a free for all, and it's quite interesting on what develops from that. This was a bit of time wasting, I felt. A bit of strategic time wasting from Streatham Redhawks, easy for me to say. And this is a disallowed goal. See where the goals moved? The referees decided after a little bit of confrontation that that was going to be a disallowed goal, which is a shame because it was a good move, just because the goal was moved. And I think the keeper actually had moved the goalposts. Quite literally.
You do that quite often.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you can see, the actual movement from the top of the table side was quite amazing. The move, the control of the puck with the stick was quite breathtaking, as I say. And I felt that, the three periods that they had, there were times where Oxford City Stars were really in it. And there's another goal for the Redhawks, but they had their moments, and they did play some good ice hockey. In effect, Streatham Redhawks had 49 shots to Oxford City Stars 23, so that sounds quite different, but actually it wasn't as bad as that sounds. I thought there was some really good ice hockey play.
Sorry, I'm still with you.
So, what was great was there was obviously a certain Petacek playing in goal for Oxford City Stars, and there's a montage, I believe, coming up with all his saves during the game, and there's some quite remarkable saves here, actually, putting his body on the line massively. And it's quite interesting at times with the way they were warming up, literally on the ice, was quite interesting, certainly from a goalkeeping perspective. And that was good to see. There were times where they were having respites. The three periods, I should say, have got three bits in between. It's 18 minutes between periods, actually, when they replenish the ice. and there's a good rest bite for the players because it is quite energetic, as you can see.
Brilliant footage. This really good.
It is incredible footage there. So
was that from our top man?
That was from Dan Smith.
Dan the man. Brilliant work, Dan.
And some of Mrs Woods is actual camera work.
Nothing from Darryl Woods though.
No, mine was rubbish. No. To be honest, that ended up on the cutting room floor. Yeah, I have to say, really enjoyable evening. If you've got chance, get down to the Ox Pens on a Saturday or Sunday. Normally Sunday actually for home games, because it's well worth a visit. It's exhilarating, I have to say. I've become a fan of Oxford City Stars.
Fantastic stuff. And we did say we were going to get there. Thank you very much to Carl Catlin and to Oxford City Stars and to everybody there for welcoming you. And they didn't give you a frosty reception.
No,
they gave you a warm reception.
They gave me a warm reception.
And, it was a lot warmer than you thought it was going to be.
And there we go. I'm grinning like a Cheshire cat there, aren't I, with the great man himself?
You
because
thinking, who are you?
that was quite amazing, because I didn't know I was going to get that. I should have said, Mr. Cech, could you come on the programme? We really want to interview you. That might have helped our viewing figures, but I was a little bit too shy, in awe of meeting the great man himself. So, but there we go. It was that finished my evening off quite nicely.
Brilliant.
I have to say, and it was good of him to come out, especially after the sort of battering that he'd received as a goalkeeper, to come out and have a photograph with good old Woodsy. So our thanks to Petr Cech for sure. There's a lot of ice hockey going on in the future with the Oxford Midnight Stars, and there's plenty of fixtures, plenty of stuff to look forward to. I'm waiting for a picture to arrive. There we go. There's Oxford City Stars, as you can see, sitting in 7th place. Streatham Redhawks there at the top of the league. Quite a difference in points, 45 there for the Redhawks. So they're on the road against the Jets on the Saturday, 16th March, where the face-off is 6:30. That's a cup match, as I mentioned. And then on Sunday, they will be home to the Romford Buccaneers. Which is brilliant. And the face-off there is 6:15. So if you see the prices as well, really reasonable prices at the top of that screen there. Get along to the Ox Pens. It is well worth a visit. And I think... there we go. Here's the Women's National Ice Hockey League 2 South. Midnight Stars in 5th position with 8 points. They're playing the Cambridge Kodiaks at the weekend. And look at that, free entry at
Loving
home.
the colour scheme.
Free entry on Saturday where the face-off is 6:30.
That's not at midnight?
No.
Oh.
No. So that is amazing. Now, KDog, bit of quizzing here for you. This is a puck.
I thought it was your snuff box or something.
Not a snuff box. No. Come on, tell me the weight of that.
Tell you the weight of that. I would say that's probably, well, do you want it in imperial? Or
well, you can do whatever you want.
I reckon that's about 200 grams.
200 grams?
Yeah.
I've got to show you that. I'm coming out of my seat, guys. I'm coming out of my seat. This is new. This is new. I don't know if I can do this. Look at this. Here we go. Oxford City Stars puck. Okay. There you go. That's the actual puck they use in the games. That's my little souvenir. Okay. Its actual weight, believe it or not, is 5.9 ounces. So just slightly heavier than a cricket ball.
I'm going to work that out.
There you go. That's probably where we're coming on.
165 grams.
There you go.
So not
far off. Again, amazing day. I can't speak highly enough of Oxford City Stars and what they've done. So it was a really, really enjoyable evening.
And our cameraman's now in the studio. Hello, cameraman. You can't see him, but he's just arrived. So that's really, really good. Right, a little bit of live update for you now, because we said we were going to keep you updated on the scores in the Speedway, the Premiership Speedway, which Oxford Spires have started this evening, and they are 5 races to go, and they currently lead, this is a really poor nickname, the Birmingham Brummies, by 33 points to 27th, so 6 points ahead, 5 heats to go, so fingers crossed that the Oxford Spires can win their first Premiership match.
The Brummies are coming back, aren't they?
The Brummies are coming back because they were, they were 10 points behind. They've cut that down to 6, but very wet over at the Oxford Stadium, as it is across the whole country. But the racing's going on. There's some really good footage on the Oxford Speedway X channel, they call it Twitter then, X channel, if you want to see some of the footage that's going on. We will hope to get there as well at some point in the coming weeks, and hopefully get somebody into the studio to talk about Oxford Spires, because it's really exciting times for them as they start in the Premiership. Oxford Cheetahs were a great club of fantastic history back in the 80s and 90s. Hans Nielsen was my favourite Speedway rider. I used to sort of follow him when I was a bit younger, and obviously brilliant to see them back. Right, onwards and upwards. We're going to move on now to a little bit of hockey for you, so field hockey, and we've got some results here from Abingdon. And I think we've got some results from Witney as well, but I'm not sure. So these are the Abingdon results. The men's
Witney ones.
Oh, these are the Witney ones. Thank you. So the men's team lost 4-2 at home to Eastcote. The twos, testing my eyesight here, 3-0 winners over Oxford Fours. The thirds beat Oxford Hawks 6. That'll be the team that I'd play in, probably. 7-2. And then the men's fourth team had a 2-1 win at home to Berkhamsted. And I don't know what the plus HH means, so I'm not going to even try and guess that. Onwards and on we go, and these are the women's results. So the first beat Basingstoke 5-2. The second thrilling 8-goal thriller, 4-4 with Sonning. The third team lost 4-3 at home. Lots of goals in this, crikey, at home to Aylesbury. The fours had a good 4-1 win against the Enigmas. Fantastic.
Great name.
And the fifth side went down 4-3 at home to Buckingham Threes. And the sun's shining there, but I don't think they're live pictures. So I think it might have been raining on Saturday, just potentially.
Yeah.
Okie dokes, and thank you so much to Abingdon Hockey Club, who have been engaging with us brilliantly over the last few weeks. We're delighted to bring the Abingdon results as well from last weekend, and as you can see there, the ladies, the women's first team lost 1-0, the twos lost 2-1, and the third team, they had a good 4-0 victory. And in the men's, 9-1 win for the first, 3-3 draw for the twos, 4-0 win for the thirds, and a 4-2 defeat for the fourth. Loads and loads of goals going in there in the men's games, and well done to everybody that competed over the weekend. If you're a hockey club and you want your results featured, as Darryl said earlier, email us oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com, and we will feature your results. And if you've got photographs or video footage, send it in to us, and we will look to include it on a future show. Woodsy.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen actually for Abingdon Hockey in the next couple of weeks. So,
and thank you very much, Abingdon Hockey, for that. That was brilliant. Just before we go over to you for the bit of American football, we'll just talk about rugby union. The results will come up later on. A really big week last week for Chinner. They went down to Plymouth Albion, who had only lost once at home all season, with a great home record. Chinner ran out 26-5 winners, so they got the bonus point victory for running in 4 tries. We saw, didn't we, when they played the Rams before Christmas, that they don't go for penalties, they go for running rugby. Absolutely. To get the tries, and that's what they did. And that was a fantastic result for Chinner. And with Rams losing, it means that Chinner are now clear at the top of the table with 5 games to go, and it's all in their hands. Hopefully they can win the National League One and then take up their place promotion into the Championship, which is 1 division away from the Premier League, which would be absolutely immense for Chinner. And hopefully we're going to get the Chinner press guy in over the next couple of weeks to discuss and talk about the run into the end of the season, which is very, very exciting down at Kingsley Road.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish them all the very best, as we normally do at Ox Sports Unleashed. So, as KDog alluded to there, Oxford Saints are starting their season very, very shortly for the American football, and they have some friendlies lined up, as you can see, against the Ipswich Cardinals. I love some of these names, they're just fantastic. But it's 24th of March, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff. at Tilsley Park. And prior to that, there will be under 16 and under 19 games where they face off against the Cardinals youth squads between 1 and 2. And you can have a barbecue there, I think, as you can see. And also, still get along to their training sessions. They're still training if you want to be a budding American footballer, even in the future. Get along to Tilsley Park. They'll be more than welcome you to their sessions.
I'm just looking at the fact there's a barbecue there. I might see if I'm around that afternoon and pop down. Maybe go and help myself to a burger.
That sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
There you go.
So there we go. Like I say, Oxford Saints in action shortly. Their league season starts in April, I believe. So we'll be following and seeing how they do during the season.
So no goal of the week highlight this week. We haven't managed to clip it out, but we've mentioned it earlier. The goal of the week was from Casey Highmore, Aberdeen United, with that super volley. We've got all the other results now. Stay tuned though, because after this we will be giving you a fantastic feature that Wes Spearman, our roving budding reporter, not a budding reporter, he's a professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roving reporter Wes went up to Silverstone last weekend and did a brilliant feature, and it will blow you away, to be fair. Ben Cox, who will definitely be following during the coming season, and it was testing at Silverstone in the wet. But before that, we will just run through all the results from the weekend. There were a fair few. There wasn't too much washed out this time with the weekend results and a couple of midweek results now. There you go, that's all the results from the weekend and the midweek. I'm just going to single out a few of them there. Our good friend Kevin Squirrell and the Oxford City development side, they scored 15 goals in 2 games, a 9-2 win on Saturday and then a 6-1 win in midweek. And there's a lovely picture that Kev Squirrell has put on social media just with a team picture. And what a fantastic season that they are having in the Hellenic League Division 2 Central. Hopefully you continue that way and finish the season well. And also a little shout out to Clanfield, a really good draw away at Hartpury University. They're still challenging for the Division 1 honours in the Hellenic League, so we will definitely get back to Radcott Row before the season's out and hopefully see you through to the season end, and fingers crossed you get the promotion that you richly deserve.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, that takes us on to the feature we've been harping on about a bit tonight, about Ben Cox, who was our studio guest just 3 weeks ago, where he came in helmets and trophies. A fantastic little interview. great young man. But we sent along our budding reporter, Wes Spearman, to Silverstone at the weekend. And this
Did he have
is...
a brolly with him?
He must have had a brolly. This is a really good piece. I hope you enjoy the next 4 or 5 minutes.
Silverstone, the home of motor racing in the UK, and on the 10th of March, home to Banbury racer Ben Cox, as he takes part in pre-season testing for Oldfield Motorsport. Testing is crucial for all the teams and drivers, as they collect valuable data which helps them fine-tune the car's setup and helps the drivers get used to the feel of the car. But, predictably, on a Sunday in March, it was pouring down with rain. Ben had 4 sessions across the day, but shortened earlier sessions and technical issues with the car meant he only did 2 laps before the team broke for lunch. A revised schedule gave him and his team 2 45-minute sessions in the afternoon for Ben to run the brakes in and get used to the new car.
It's been a productive learning day. I've had a few technical issues as well. Obviously, it's what shakedown's for. It's part of motor racing. We find these problems and we resolve them and make the car stronger for race day, where we challenge everyone else.
The car itself uses a 1.6 litre Ford engine, hence the name Formula Ford, with the series being the entry level in the open wheel category. On the day, there were several other categories, including closed wheel, superkart, sports cars and minis, all making use of the historic track to collect data and see how their cars felt on the asphalt. With Ben's move to Oldfield, he has to get used to a new chassis, with the team running a Van Diemen chassis compared to the Rays Ben was driving previously. So what was he able to get out from Sunday's Silverstone shakedown?
Main one's being acceleration and braking points, to be able to try and pick up speed throughout the whole way on the exit of corners is the main one, especially onto a long straight. Obviously every car performs different. Obviously we were with the Van Diemen this season with Oldfield compared to Sulu Motorsport with the race chassis last year. It's a bit of a difference, and just getting used to how the car performs and responds to me, and it's been very fun in the rain today.
Helping him along the way this year are team boss James and mechanic Matt, along with his brother Ash, his father and his partner. And whilst the rain fell, Ben and the team got on to the most important job of the day, applying the stickers. As you can imagine, motor racing isn't an easy thing to get into, and despite Formula Ford being an entry-level series, the costs still eclipse that of other sports such as cricket and golf. So it's no surprise that sponsorship plays a huge role in getting Ben out onto the track.
If anyone's willing to support me in my racing season, I'd be very grateful. We have a website with www.coxracing.com. There's a contact us page on there. Fill out your details, such as email address and your name, and a little summary of what your message is, and we'll look to reply to you as soon as we can. We'll be happy to invite some new people and new faces, even older people who maybe have had some time away from motor racing, even come back if they want to, and look to partner up with amongst the other lot that we've got going: Banbury Body Shop, Financial Connections, SJB Hearing, and also Wilf the Dog, as you can see on the car already.
Back to testing, and Ben had his skills put to the test, with the rain being an ever-present nuisance for all the cars out on track. There were several spins and red flags throughout the day, with the recovery truck eating up the miles, but Ben, with experience and success in the wet, kept his car on course. This season consists of 8 races on 7 different tracks, as Formula Ford travels to Silverstone, Donington Park, Liddon Hill, Brands Hatch, Castle Combe and Snetterton, and with each track comes a different challenge.
Oldfield also got great experience in setting up these cars very finely, as we know they were last season's champions, which obviously is a pretty good sign. And when you go from track to track, you got, like we're at Silverstone today, you got mainly long straights, which would be similar to Snetterton. But if you go to a Brands Hatch, you want more of a cornery car, as they're more slow speed and not so long straights. Suspension stiffness, gear ratios, but Formula Ford's relatively are one of the most simple sort of single-seaters you can get to work on, which is good, so a lot of it comes down to the driver.
Whilst the wet track caught some drivers out, Ben soldiered on, plying his trade that saw him earn a double podium at Snetterton last year. Finishing 11th overall and 5th in his class in 2023, Ben hopes to be taken to the rostrum even more in 2024.
Well, Oldfield are here, of course, to win races and championships, which is what every team should be doing and aiming for. You know, if you're in the wrong sport if you're not aiming for a victory, you know. For me personally, obviously I would love to be at the front, winning races and being in the mix for the championship. That's my main goal, and I'm sure Oldfield will be looking to repeat last year and being number 1 in the top of the standings.
The season starts on the 13th of April and concludes on the 6th of October, with the team also hoping to reach the Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch, along with the Walter Hayes Trophy back at Silverstone in November. Wes Spearman, Ox Sports Unleashed, Silverstone.
There you go, what a fantastic feature, Wes. Thank you very much, and thank you to Ben Cox for showing him around Silverstone in the wet on a couple, was it weekend just gone? Yeah, last weekend, chucking it down with rain. And yeah, brilliant to see. And as Darryl's just posted in the chat, good luck to Ben for the season ahead. We'll definitely look to follow you throughout the season. Little challenge for you, Ben, if you want to maybe do a little video blog with your dad or something, then please do that, because we can feature a lot of the stuff, because we won't be able to attend every week. But if you do a little video diary rounding up your season, that'll be really, really good. And as Ben said, if anybody wants to help Ben and support him, it's a really expensive sport to get into. You can visit his website, Ben Cox Racing, and you can get in touch with them. And if there's anybody here that can spare just a few pounds even, just to help Ben along the way, I'm sure that they'll be very grateful. And as we said a couple of weeks ago, when he's in Formula One, we'll get him back in. When he's the F1 World Champion, we'll get him back in here and we'll have another chat to him.
Soak him in champagne.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
We wish you all the very best, Ben, and thanks again for the invite. As KDog was mentioned, it was superb, and Wes had an incredible day. He absolutely loved every single second of it.
He's our motorsport expert. He's commenting now as well.
That's brilliant, and I just love it that, you know, when we're saying we're looking for roving reporters and cameramen and producers and editors and social media people, you know, you get to those sort of events. It's an amazing thing, really.
Yeah, and we don't want to blow our own trumpet, but we've been told by a lot of people that what we're doing is being well received. We're doing it as volunteers because we're passionate about sport in Oxfordshire, and anybody that wants to help out in any way, no matter how big or small that help can be, you will be very, very welcome. We want to make this show bigger and better. We're going to hopefully keep this running, and you know, the longer we go on, hopefully the more sports we'll be able to feature, and that's where you guys come in, because anybody watching this, we will welcome your help. And you know, from maybe a budding up and coming media student, or somebody that wants to sort of get into a career in media, maybe a little thing for the CV as well. And we would very much welcome you. You know, we've had work experience, Wes, haven't we? We've got work experience, Dan, and we've got a producer that's he's better than the normal producer, isn't he? To be fair, yeah, Patrick's much better than the normal producer, who I've won a bet against again, by the way, because I predicted so. I just thought I'd mention it. Anyway, I won't say any more than that.
Help me now. Anyway, like I say, thanks to Wes actually for going along as well and putting that together. It's an amazing piece. It's one of the best things we've done, I think. So thanks to Wes.
I hate saying well done to Wes, but
he's a good lad. I also want to mention now a person that we interviewed way back in episode 1 in the rain. Pouring rain, strangely enough, at Wormsley, at the John Paul Getty's ground, where we were doing some commentary. She mentioned in that interview, I think if you go back to that episode, that she was still looking to get into the England camp. And she has successfully done that, and she is at the moment. I think that's from some of the performances she's put together in her cricket. I think she's done incredibly, and she's put herself in the spotlight from some really hard work. Coming back from injury as well. So good luck to Lindsay. But we have got a bit of footage in New Zealand, and here we go. Here's Lindsay coming in to bowl here. Somebody going for a massive ramp. Got horribly bowled, to be honest. Here's another switch hit, just hit straight to point. And I think that is actually an ex-teammate of hers at Northern Diamonds. And this is a run out, backing up with a little bit of a flick on.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's one of those wickets, isn't it? They
all count.
Yeah, they all count. So well done to Lindsay, and we wish her all the best of luck for the continued tour. And we will get her in, and
100%.
Obviously, we're trying to get Ollie Price and James Coles back in for their view on how things went in India on their England's Lions tour as well. So plenty of cricket, and cricket is at the foremost of everybody's mind, as Spring is here as the sun is shining, and we're all just hoping for warmer weather and a better summer, obviously.
It's definitely warmer. The rain's warmer now than it was last week. Quick update for you from the Oxford Spires. We're heading into the last 2 heats now. It's 2 heats. An absolute thriller. Oxford Spires 40, the Birmingham Brummies 38.
Close.
So 2 heats to go.
Close.
And Wes says it should be the Birmingham Chocolatiers. Oh yes, because that's where Cadbury was based. Very good, Wes. Very good.
Clever.
Yeah, we don't call him Stato for nothing.
No, that's quite
so good. Oxford Spires 40, Birmingham Brummies 38. 2 heats to go. If you want to follow that and find out the final score, you can go to the.
Oh, sure, we can say that, but it's on there anyway.
No, we wouldn't say that. No, so if you want to follow the last couple of heats, that's on the Oxford Speedway X channel. If you go there, and you can see how they get on, and we'll report back next week, and hopefully we'll report back on a debut day victory for the Oxford Spires.
Yeah, absolutely, well said. KDog. News for next week. Woodsy will not be in the chair. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice I'm not going to be here next week.
Thank God for that.
I mean, the show should go really well without me, shouldn't it? Let's be honest. The less professional part of the duo. So I don't know at this moment who's going to be in the hot seat.
Jeff Stelling, I thought.
I think that's a probably good substitute, to be fair.
Will
it be the locksmith? Will it be Colin Ryde?
Des Lynham.
Des Lynham.
Yeah, Steve Ryder.
It could be any of those. You have to tune in next Thursday live on YouTube and Facebook.
I mean, you've never seen Des Lynham and Colin Ryde in the same room, so they could be the same person.
You never know. You never know. So that just about wraps it up for this week. Good to have you back, KDog. Have you enjoyed tonight's show? What's been your highlight?
The motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely the motorsport. Brilliant. Yeah, really, really good. Ben, please do that if you can, even if it's your dad. Get some video to us and do a little diary for the season ahead, because we'd love to feature that as much as we can, and we'll follow your progress. And as I said, Ben, when you're an F1 world champion, we'll get you back here and we'll congratulate you, and maybe you can get some hospitality for the Australian Grand Prix or something. That'd be good. Just joking.
Looking for those free tickets again.
Sorry, I don't pay for anything.
No, I did notice. So that just about wraps it up for this week's Ox Sports Unleashed. The week that Jimmy Anderson took his 700th Test wicket to be the first seamer to do that in world cricket. What an incredible achievement at the age of 41. Well done, Jimmy. That is a remarkable feat for anybody. So we wish you all the very best for the rest of your England career. But 700 wickets,
he'll
absolutely
be wheeling in from the Jimmy Anderson end in 2030 at the age of 50.
There was some social media showing that, I must admit, but really brilliant achievement, fantastic effort. As I say, that wraps it up. Please join us next week, not me, somebody else, with KDog, for more sports that we will unleash from Oxfordshire. It's a good night from me.
See ya.